Hi, everybody. It's good to be with you again. And I have a little thought that I wanted to bring to you. This is not original, it actually came from my baby sister when she was preaching at the prison last Wednesday. So let me just share my take on what I got from what she shared with me. And James 4:14 says, "Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away." So that's us. We're vapor. However, the scripture says that before we were formed in our mother's belly, he knew us. Now that new word means he knew us intimately, that it didn't just, he knew who we were. He knew us because we existed in him from before the foundation of the earth. Now, when you look at a tombstone, you'll see somebody's name, and right below that name, there's two dates, and right between the two dates, there's a dash. So the name represents our identity, who we were, who we are, what we've done, our brand in this earth. And the first date, let's talk about that just for a minute, because we were formed in our mother's womb. A seed was conceived and we were formed, but we sustained all of our life from the mother, from the umbilical cord. And so everything that we were receiving was of the fleshly nature, because our mother in the flesh was giving birth to us into this earthly realm. Now, what happens when they cut that cord? They take that little baby over there and they pop him on the rear end, and all of a sudden you hear a sound come out from that baby. Now that sound, I believe, is the sound from heaven announcing that the breath of God has once more entered into this little baby. And this baby has now, just as Adam, when God breathed into Adam the breath of life, what happened? He became a living soul. So I believe that when that baby, the cord is cut, and he takes his first breath, that is literally the breath of God being breathed into him, and he cries out in rejoicing or in agony or whatever he's crying for, but that cry is the sound from heaven. So then we have another date on the other side, and we all know what that means. That's the date that we depart this earth. So we won't talk about that. But in between, there is a little dash. Did you know that you and I are that dash? Because that dash represents everything that took place between our birth and our death. And our life is like that vapor. It's in this little dash. But you know what? Just like my sister asked me, she said, "Sue, what are you doing with your dash?" I said, "Oh." And I wanted to leave that thought with us today. What are we doing with our dash? What did you do with the dash? What did you do with it? Did you make it count for something? Is it just a little shallow breathed life that got lived there? Or was it a life full of richness and full of giving and full of the Spirit of the living God? That dash. And I ask you today again, what are you doing and what am I doing with the dash? So you think on that for a little bit, and you think about the dash, and you think about that being your life, and then just consider, what have I done with my dash? I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll be back whenever I'm back. And God bless you. I love you very much.